Revenge films.
This story is about the time that I divorced my husband. He was emotionally abusive and didn't treat me well at all. My husband and I lived about 10 minutes from his parents, and his mother would come see us every day and bully me. She made my life hell. When we were newlyweds, my mother-in-law wasn't so awful. Her attitude towards me changed after we moved to the same neighborhood as her. I didn't understand why she had to be so mean to me. I asked my husband for some advice, but he was completely useless.
She doesn't mean anything by it. Don't let her get to you.
So I got up the courage to ask my mother-in-law not to come over to our house every day. But she wouldn't listen. I was mad at my husband for giving her our spare key, which meant that she could come over whenever she wanted to. Sometimes I would come home from the supermarket to find her relaxing in our living room. Please let me know in advance when you're coming over here. It makes me very uncomfortable that you show up unannounced each time. We're family. Why can't I come over whenever I want to? My mother-in-law wasn't making any sense to me. To my horror, my mother-in-law showed me that she had set up hidden cameras in our living room. She had been filming my every move. This is an invasion of our privacy. How could you do such a thing? Even if we're family, this is unacceptable. If you have nothing to hide, you wouldn't care about the camera. I bet you're having an affair. I have everything on camera, so you can't deny any of it. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I had a very bad feeling about all of it. Why do you think I'm having an affair? Don't try to deny it. My son told me the truth. That's why I'm looking out for him. Why would my husband say such a thing? That's not true at all. I couldn't understand why my husband would lie about something like this. My mother-in-law told me that she changed her attitude towards me after she suspected that I was having an affair. She went out of her way to set up hidden cameras in our living room to keep a close eye on my moves. I'm not having an affair. You'll see if you check the footage on the camera. I have nothing to hide. My mother-in-law began to doubt herself because I was overly confident. But my son said that. I needed to talk to my husband. I don't know why he thinks that I'm cheating on him. My mother-in-law began to check the footage on the camera. I was going to get my husband to explain the situation to both me and his mother to clear this all up. I called my parents-in-law over for dinner so we could all sit down and talk about it. When my husband came home, I asked him to explain what was going on.
What's this camera for?
Your mother thought that I was having an affair because that's what you told her, and she set up this camera in our living room to gather evidence.
Why in the world would you go that far? You're invading their privacy. I was wondering why you were visiting this house every day. I had no idea that you were being so ridiculous.
But our son told me that she was having an affair. I had to do something.
Mom, I never said that. And I didn't give you permission to set up a hidden camera in our house. What were you thinking? There's no need to check the footage on that camera.
He seemed nervous for some reason. Let's look at this together to make sure that there are no misunderstandings. I want everyone here to know that I'm not having an affair. When I played the video, we were all surprised. The video showed footage of my husband naked with another woman in our living room. He was the one having an affair, not me. My husband became very pale after we saw the video. I was shocked to see who the woman was in the video. That's your brother's wife. What are you two doing?
This is not what it looks like. We saw the video. You can't deny it. That is definitely your brother's wife, Karen.
My father-in-law punched my husband in the face, and my husband hit his head on the wall. My husband works in sales, and he gets to set his own hours. I go to yoga and art classes every day, so I leave the house for a few hours a day. My husband and Karen must have been seeing each other at the house when no one was around. It makes me sick to think that they had done this in our living room couch. My husband finally confessed that he was in a relationship with Karen before we got married. My father-in-law was furious, and he called his son over and his wife Karen over to the house. After that, it was pure chaos. My husband's brother was livid and beat his little brother up. My mother-in-law was upset with her son and her daughter-in-law for their betrayal. She pulled hard on Karen's hair until Karen screamed in pain. In the end, everyone got down on their knees and apologized to me and my husband's brother. My mother-in-law felt bad for accusing me and bullying me. She apologized to me profusely. She couldn't forgive my husband for lying to her and told him that she could never trust him again. I can't believe that you tried to blame your wife for something you did. What were you thinking? You made me think that Emily was the bad one. You're not my son anymore. I'm cutting all ties with you. She then slapped him in the face several times. After that, my husband and I got divorced. I had no intention of forgiving him for what he did to me. My husband's brother felt the same way, and he divorced Karen as well.
I'm leaving you! I regret marrying you in the first place! I can't believe that you were cheating on me with my little brother! How could you do this to me?
My brother-in-law was a catch. He wasn't all that good looking, but he had a lot of money. That's why Karen was reluctant to divorce him. She explained to him that her affair with his brother was a fling and she didn't mean anything to her. She told him that he was the love of her life. Her husband didn't listen to her though, and after divorcing her, asked for a huge amount of alimony.
Why do I have to pay?
She was completely clueless and didn't seem to understand the gravity of her crimes. She wasn't very smart, and she assumed that it was always the wife that got alimony in a divorce settlement. My brother-in-law's lawyer explained that it was the spouse at fault that had to pay the alimony.
If it's going to cost me so much money, I'm not divorcing you. Let's get back together.
I also asked for payment from my husband and Karen.
Mom! Why did you set up that stupid camera in our living room? This is all your fault!
After saying something so stupid, his mother and brother just beat him up. My mother-in-law continued to apologize to me. She felt really bad for the way that she had treated me. At the time, I was upset with her, but I decided to forgive her in the end. After all, her son had lied to her. In the end, my husband's company found out about the affair and he was fired from his job. My husband had only gotten that job because his older brother had referred him, but without his brother's support, he could no longer stay in that position. My husband's brother had a very successful career, and if the company had to choose between him or my husband, it would be my husband that had to go. My husband had a difficult time getting a new job because practically everyone knew that his brother and the companies were reluctant to hire him. He had a ton of job interviews, but none of them led to anything promising. Oh well, he's not my problem anymore. Karen's parents were extremely upset with their daughter. They couldn't forgive her for ruining the marriage and having an affair with her husband's little brother.
What were you thinking? You had a great husband, but you had to ruin it all. I'm so ashamed of you.
Her parents covered the money that she owed to me and her husband, but she had to pay them back. She got a full-time job and worked long hours to pay back her parents. After my divorce, I bumped into my mother-in-law. She was with her grandchild, the daughter of her older son and Karen. My husband and I didn't have any children, but my husband's little brother and Karen did. We decided to get some coffee and catch up. She felt bad about the way she had treated me and told me that she was trying to be a better person. She was taking good care of her grandchild and wanted the best for her. She knew that it wasn't easy for a child when their parents were divorced. Karen gave up custody of her daughter, and her husband got sole custody. My mother-in-law promised to support her older son in raising his daughter. She knew how busy he was with work, and it wasn't easy being a single father. I'm really sorry for the way that I treated you. I feel so bad. I do hope that over time you'll be able to forgive me. I told her that time had resolved the issue and that I no longer had any hard feelings. You can forget about that now. It's all in the past. After that, I moved out of town and never saw my mother-in-law again. I hoped that everyone that had been hurt by my husband and Karen had peaceful and happy lives.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.